No, my brother is such a neat freak. He hates glitter.
And it gets on everything.
Yes. If you have, like, Christmas, sometimes the ribbon that you wrap your presents in has glitter on it. It gets everywhere. And every time you see my brother, if you walked into his house probably right now, he has the vacuum.
Where does that come from? Glitter?
All three of us are really neat.
Are you really?
Yeah, we are.
Really? I'm still waiting for the neat gene to show itself with me. Yes. I have not seen that yet. But I will say this. More than likely, a lot of you will be having turkey on Thursday, but everyone will be celebrating, like Keith Urban, who's the musician we bumped in, Artist of the Year. Right?
Congratulations.
Finally has a really to celebrate.
Puts on a good show. If you're looking for a Christmas present, you can buy one of their books, paperback, cookbook, or Keith Urban concert tickets.
There you go. All right. Meanwhile, sit back, relax, and enjoy the news. And we start with the Fox News alert. It was last night that a San Francisco-based judge, U.S. District Judge John Tigger, who was nominated by Barack Obama back in 2012, said that the President of the United States, is breaking the law when he said that if you want asylum, keep people from essentially running across the border. The Army Lieutenant General Jeffrey Buchanan, who's in charge of the deployment, told Politico that the mission is complete and they're going to start heading home as early as this week, and the rest will be done by December 15th, so that the U.S. military force on our southern border, it looks like the meter's running, and soon they'll be heading home.
All right, let's talk about the election. 6 minutes now after the hour. Stacey Abrams, as you know, did lose by about 55,000 votes in Georgia for the governor's race to Brian Kemp. Now, he joined us a short time ago. What's astounding about this is she is claiming I'm not conceding. I'm saying I didn't get as many votes. But she says democracy has failed. She claims that this former Secretary of State and now governor-elect suppressed the vote, subtracted polling stations.
Sure, and as you look at the vote right there, see, he won by a margin of 50.22%. What she wanted to do was she wanted to call into question the 0.22%, so it would be under 50%, and I think the margin was like 12 or 13,000, so there could have been another recall, or rather another election, essentially a revote. She has told Rolling Stone magazine she will file a federal lawsuit to challenge what she calls the gross mismanagement of the Georgia election.
Yeah. She was on another network, and she said, this is not fair. It is not a free and fair election. Listen to this.
It was not a free and fair election. We had thousands of Georgians who were purged from the rolls wrongly. The thousands who were forced to wait in long lines because they were in polling places that were under-resourced. Or worse, they had no polling places to go to. It was not fair to the thousands that were put on hold with their registrations. Brian Kemp oversaw for 8 years the systematic and systemic dismantling of our democracy, and that means there could not be free and fair elections in Georgia this year.
So Brian Kemp was on with us for the first time since being named governor-elect, and he responded to Abrams' accusations.
In Georgia, we have secure, accessible, fair elections. We make it easy to vote and hard to cheat. She may not like some of the laws, but we take an oath of office, and the county elections officials have a duty to follow the law and the elections rules that we have in our state. And we check citizenship. We require people to show a photo ID when they go vote. And we verify this information before people go on the voter rolls. So this is really just political rhetoric, but that's in the past. I'm moving forward and looking forward to governing our great state.
Well, there have been a lot of allegations made. I'm sure over the coming months they're going to take a look at them, and if there's anything to them, we're going to know about it.
Turnout's greater than ever before. He got more votes than anybody else who ever ran for governor in that state. I also think it's important to bring up, I think that the whole investigation will work to his benefit. I think that Stacey Abrams is doing something that I think a lot of other Democrats are doing. They're bringing into scrutiny, as Howard Dean has said, as Sherrod Brown has said. So it's an unfair election, and they want to bring up a race element to this, as if the white governor or white secretary of state was keeping blacks from voting, and that seems to be a fight they want to have.
Well, some celebrities are saying they're boycotting Georgia, and Stacey Abrams, she said, please don't boycott our state.
Because for Hollywood to stop shooting movies there, evidently there's a lot done in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah, Tyler Perry, that's where he built his business.
It's a beautiful state. All right, it is 8:10 here in New York City now, and Jillian joins us with a Fox News alert.
That's right. Good morning. Hi, God, what are you doing? Joanna Gaines surprised with that message written on her daughter's bathroom vanity. The fixer-upper star says her shock turned into gratefulness for the sweet message when she realized it was written in erasable ink. The doodle that she posted on Instagram going viral with over 1 million likes. Isn't that cute?
The message is, hey, God, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. It's cute.
I'm sure she asked her daughter, hey, what are you doing with, the marker?
Magic marker.
They're great. All right, Jillian, thank you.
Thanks, Jillian.
All right, 8:12 now here in New York City on this Tuesday. Walgreens and CVS now accused of playing a role in the opioid crisis. Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi is suing the drugstore chains over that, and she will explain to Ainsley why next.
And what is the secret to a happy marriage? Well, Dolly Parton reveals the 2 words that got her through 52 years and counting.
I know.
In America, we are going to end it, or we are going to at least make an extremely big dent in this terrible, terrible problem.
Well, the president making the fight against the opioid crisis a big priority for our country, and the Florida Attorney General is leading the charge. The state now suing Walgreens and CVS, 2 of the nation's largest drugstore chains, claiming that they have played a large role in creating the nation's opioid crisis. Joining us now to discuss this is Florida's Attorney General Pam Bondi. Hey, Pam, thanks for being with us.
Hey, good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. Okay, so when I first heard the story, I thought, why is the state of Florida blaming the drugstores instead of doctors or individuals?
Well, doctors have been held accountable since I've been elected. You know that. Many doctors actually have gone to prison, and we've shut down the pill mills. Florida has an opioid crisis, along with pretty much every other state in the country. And every year, Ainsley, record number of people are dying, and we have got to do something about it. These manufacturers, distributors, pharmacies, they have been part of the problem, and they have got to be part of the solution. And we will continue to hold them accountable. That's what this is all about.
Now, how are they at fault, though? Because a doctor calls the pharmacy, puts the prescription in, and then we pick it up.
Well, millions of pills were going to pharmacies, and they knew the red flags. They were warned of the red flags. That's what our lawsuit alleges. This is part of a big, big picture. And, whether you are a manufacturer, distributor, a pharmacy, and you see millions of pills coming into a distribution center right in Florida, in Lakeland, Florida, and over 2 million going to Tampa alone, they knew there were things to look for. They didn't look for them. Hey, I applaud the efforts that they're doing now. And again, we want this to be a collaborative effort to solve the problem together. And that includes having prevention, having treatment, having Narcan, naloxone available, education. And that's how they were all part of the problem, and now they have to be part of the solution.
Well, if you look at these numbers, it's staggering. 2016 alone, 2,798, almost 3,000 people overdosed on opioids in your state, in the state of Florida. Nationally, 45 people die on overdoses every single day, Pam. Let me read you the statement. We just got a recent statement from CVS, and this is what they say. We believe the state of Florida's addition of CVS Pharmacy to this lawsuit is without merit. CVS has taken numerous actions to strengthen our existing safeguards to help address the nation's opioid epidemic. In fact, over the past 5 years, there has been approximately a 38% decrease in opioid dispensing at our retail pharmacies. We asked Walgreens for a statement. They say they don't comment on pending lawsuits. Now, your critics might say that you're suing them because they're big companies and they have the money to help you combat this in the state of Florida. What is your reaction to their statement and to what I just said?
Well, first of all, this isn't what's happening today, and I applaud them for their efforts about what they're doing today. This goes back to 2008, Ainsley, when this crisis started and when millions and millions of pills were flowing out of these 2 organizations, along with the manufacturers and distributors. And our lawsuit tells a very comprehensive narrative as to how this happened. And again, we applaud the efforts they're doing now, but they have to be part of the solution because clearly they were part of the problem and they know it by the numbers and by the information that we have.
Well, you've been busy with the elections and now this. Thank you so much, Pam, for being with us. Have a good one.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Todd Pyro is having breakfast with our friends in Pennsylvania. We're going to check in with him coming up. And this actress was so upset over President Trump's election win that she considered giving her baby to Canadians. Mark Stein is from Canada and says it'd be a great reality show. He's up next.
Barriers.
The head of Homeland Security says it's necessary since migrants are planning to rush the border and enter our country illegally.
At least that was the plan. Eric Richards from our Fox affiliate in San Diego is live along the border with the latest. Eric, how rare is this story? For us, we don't hear a lot about it. Is it common with you guys?
You know, I would say, first of all, good morning, you guys. I would say somewhat common. And just this time, yesterday morning, we were in the same spot covering this story, getting word from the Customs and Border Protection that all northbound lanes from Mexico straight into the United States were shut down. That rarely, keep in mind, rarely happens here. And then we got
judges overturning the executive orders of the president. And I actually think it's out of control. It's absolutely ridiculous. One judge can actually wipe out national immigration policy. Yeah, I don't understand that. If you wanted to be ruled by guys in robes, you should have stuck with George III. I'm just saying that as a Canadian. He had better robes, apart from anything else. But I think this whole judge thing is actually getting out of hand in this.
Well, what happened is the ACLU and the Center for Constitutional Rights sued. They weren't happy with what the president was trying to implement. So they sued. That's why the judge got involved. This judge just happens to be from San Francisco and was appointed by President Obama.
Yeah, but the whole point here is that people pick these judges and they know which judges are going to do this. And actually what's going on in Tijuana makes the point. It's not a racist thing. It's not an American thing particularly. It's anybody in any country has the right to have their borders respected. It doesn't matter whether you're Hondurans marching into Mexico or Mexicans marching into America or, no disrespect, Americans marching into Canada. A sovereign nation has its borders and they should be respected.
And people want to make this a Hispanic thing. There's nothing to do with that. No. There were Russians coming through Alaska, through Canada. You guys, we just let them through. And then, you know, there would be a problem at our border. And the troops would be at the northern border.
No, and actually they don't. They do it to Canada. You know, there are octogenarian snowbirds in Toronto who've been wintering in Florida who get far worse treatment than these guys in the caravan just walking into the country.
I protested outside their house. I said
that's absolutely. You don't want that. There goes the neighborhood. It's, you know.
How about this story? There's an actress by the name of Amber Tamblyn. She was in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, and she confessed she imagined giving her baby to Canadians after President Trump was elected.
She said she was so stunned by the election result, she wanted her to give away her child to be raised by Canadian. Actually, my kids are being raised by a Canadian. I'm not sure how that's working out for them, but I'm happy to take Amber's if she's still desperate. I think this is the perfect solution to what's going on. You know, I think if all the Hollywood celebrities gave up their children to be raised by Canadians, put them in a big caravan, I believe that's the term, and send it across the 49th parallel, then it would free up their kids' bedrooms to house all the people coming in on the caravan from Tijuana. So it's win-win for everybody. I would like to see a reality show. People say, oh, you know, there's nothing on TV. I would like to see a reality show in which Hollywood celebrities' kids are taken to be raised by Canadians, maybe in Churchill, Manitoba, Moose Jaw, Swift Current, Saskatchewan. It would be fantastic to see how long they'd last.
It was one thing for all these celebrities to say they're moving to Canada after President Trump won, and they never did. It's another thing for a mother to say she's imagined her baby being raised.
I know. Well, for a start, when everybody says, oh, you know, things are so bad here, they've elected a Republican, things are so desperate here, I may have to consider moving to Canada.
Exactly, in 2 years to have a chance to vote again.
I know, and they always say it's like if it's the worst thing in the world. Now they say, well, I don't know if it's bad enough for me to move to Canada, but my kids are out of here.
It's like, all you have is the CFL, 3 downs, very wide fields. I will say this, though. It reminds me of the courage that Superman's parents had when you knew the planet was exploding.
Right.
They stuck the kid in the rocket and they sent him to another planet. So that's almost as gutsy as this actress.
Yeah, you know how that would have worked out if the creators of Superman on the planet Krypton had said, we're like putting him in a little, everything's going to hell here, we got to get out of here. And they put him in a little thing and he lands in Canada. That's
would have been a better story.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't.
Well, maybe Smallville was Canada.
I don't know. I don't know. Meek, mild, unassuming Clark Kent is really.
Right. This is something you can go into.
Am I the only one bothered by this? That a mother?
Yeah.
Y'all are making jokes, and I'm like, this mom wants to send her baby away.
This Canuckophobia thing has got to survive. There's a whole bunch of Canadian guest hosts coming down in a caravan.
Speaking of guest hosts, you're filling in for Tucker tonight,
That's right.
Okay,
That's right.
We'll be watching.
Why don't you front the camera?
So far to go for that plug.
Just saying. I know.
All right. Thank you, Mark Stein. Meanwhile, Democrats campaigned on this promise.
All should receive the health care they need.
Medicare for all.
Guarantee health care to all of our people.
And now that they're taking control of the House of Representatives, they'll have to put up those plans for a vote of some sort, right? How's that going to go over? We got a panel here to discuss that. Ladies and gentlemen.
Campaigned on hard commitments of Medicare for all.
To end the international disgrace of the United States, our great nation, being the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all of our people.
Well, Democrats campaigned on the promise of health care for all, and now that they have the majority in the House, they're going to have to put those plans to the floor for a vote, right? Well, how will that go over, and how can Republicans point out the flaws in their plans? Here with the discussion, screen left, we've got Robert Wolf, a former economic advisor to President Obama and a Fox News contributor, Dr. Nicole Saphier, Fox News medical contributor, and closest to me, Scott Rasmussen, editor-at-large for Ballotpedia. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning, Steve.
All right, Scott, let's start with you. This was the #1 issue of the midterms, health care, and the Democrats were very effective saying, hey, those Republicans are going to take your health care away, and if you've got a pre-existing condition, beware. Half the country has a pre-existing condition.
Well, look, that was a great campaign slogan, and it does tap into a fear. People want more control over their health care. They want more security, but they want more choices as well. When you try to translate that idea into what Bernie Sanders has in mind, again, the general idea of covering everybody sounds great.
Sure.
But only about 19% of people want to take away, to ban private insurance companies and force everybody to get their insurance coverage from the federal government.
Right.
That's what the Sanders plan does. So I think you're going to see a dispute among Democrats about just what does this Medicare for all look like.
Okay, Dr. Saphier, this is your business.
Well, absolutely. We've had this conversation at length multiple times, and it was a great campaign slogan, almost as good as repeal and replace. But just because you have a great campaign slogan doesn't mean it's actually going to do anything. So, yes, they won on health care, but as you mentioned, they want choice. So they say universal access. That doesn't necessarily equate to a single-payer system. If you lower costs of health care, you're actually going to be increasing the access, and that's what's more important to Americans when you really break down those polls. And when we go to the single-payer system, or even just the original Affordable Care Act, you're actually limiting choice. Fewer doctors, fewer drug formularies. And so it's not necessarily what people are showing that they want in the polls, but there's a spin in it when it comes to campaigns.
All right. Now, Robert, the Democrats very effective in making this the #1 issue. But the Democrats just were saying, hey, the Republicans are going to take your health care. They never came up with a plan. Now, ball's in your court.
Well, a few things. A lot going on right here. First, I think the midterms spoke. Health care was the #1 issue.
Yep.
3 Republican states, Nebraska, Idaho, and Utah, expanded Medicaid. 40 states have Medicare and Medicaid expansion. So the states are speaking as well. With respect to the whole health care argument, listen, I'm for one of a mix of both. I believe health care is a right, but I believe that, one, people should have a choice. So I'm not looking to take away from the employer program. I think the transition to single payer sounds great. But the idea of how they transition is near impossible.
Plus, you're a money guy. We can't afford it. I mean, the country can't afford it.
Yeah, I think the transition to this Medicare for all and single payer is where we are fiscally is near impossible. That being said, I think the debate for the Democrats is health care right? Let the Republicans say it's not a right. I know for a fact that's a losing battle.
Nicole?
I'm going to say, again, we're getting into campaign rhetoric here because as you being the financial guy at this table, you can probably attest to the fact that for 2020, Trump and his administration needs to focus on economic policies that will put more cash into people's pockets when it comes to health care and other things, because more cash in their pockets is better for long term as opposed to them just paying increased taxes for, subpar health care.
All right, Scott, you get to finish.
Well, look, Steve, the reality is Republicans and Donald Trump are hoping Democrats campaign on a single-payer system going into 2020. The thing that we can do to increase access to health care is to reduce cost, and the worst way to reduce cost is to create a federal monopoly for health care. It's just not going to work. Not going to happen, not only because of the cost, but because people want to choose. They want to decide how much insurance they want to buy, and they want to let new technologies disrupt the existing industry.
I think we can all agree healthcare costs too much. We have the best in the world, but still, something's got to be done. Great panel today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, lady and gentlemen. All right, 20 minutes before the top of the hour on this very busy Tuesday, and Jillian joins us right now.
Megan, nice to meet you.
That's right. Good morning, Steve. Still following this news out of California, where 82 people are confirmed millennials pranking their parents ahead of Thanksgiving, texting the question, how long does it take to cook a turkey in the microwave? One mom writing, have you been drinking? This doesn't even make sense. This dad didn't take the bait, though, writing 12 days. Guys, it's hilarious.
12 days at high. All right. Thank you very much, Jillian. Quarter before the top of the hour, Todd Pyro is out in Pennsylvania. He is at the Quakertown Family Restaurant talking to the folks, having breakfast.
Hey, Todd.
Hey, guys, I don't know how you follow glitter turkey, but we sure are going to try. No glitter turkeys here, just Lori. Like you to meet Lori, and Lori has an interesting thought here. She says she loves the way President Trump is really keeping Democratic heads spinning with regard to his support of Nancy Pelosi. Why do you say that?
Because they don't know why he's doing it. They don't know if he really means it or if he doesn't mean it, and he just keeps them guessing. It's driving them nuts.
All right. Kenny, you say build that wall. Why?
Build the wall. Keep the illegals out. The tax cuts, great for the country, great for my company, Morgan Cryogenics. I gave all my employees a bonus, and build the wall.
So you love everything, literally everything about the president.
Thank you, Donald Trump.
All right.
I mean it.
I want to get over here to Darla. Darla, you say your family's remodeling business is doing much better in the President Trump economy than it was before. Why?
Yes. Less regulation, less taxation. People have more faith in the future, so they're willing to spend more money on bathroom remodels, kitchen remodels, window installs.
Okay. When it comes to immigration, you are also a fan of building the wall. Why?
It hopefully will help keep illegal drugs out of the country, protects our sovereignty. A country needs to have borders. We need to have people stay.
Sure. I get it. The sovereignty. It's all about sovereignty.
Right.
And one more economic point. You say you didn't want to embarrass your husband, but you wanted to make this point. Your husband's working in the Trump economy. He wasn't working during the Obama economy.
No, he wasn't. And my company gave us a big tax cut, and it was wonderful. We got a nice check beginning of last year, and my husband's working now, and his company that he's working for is thriving, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful to see.
Finally, when it comes to illegal immigration, the caravan's been in the news a lot lately. What are your thoughts?
Build the wall. We need to keep our people safe, and President Trump is trying to do this by building the wall and keeping the illegals out of the country. It's not right for the people that are doing it legally.
Understood. Thank you so very, very much. We appreciate our time here in Q-Town, as you guys like it to be referred to. And thanks to the folks here at the Quakertown Family Restaurant. They have been unbelievable.
Can I say one more thing?
Oh, he wants to say one more thing.
Hi, Patty, my best.
Oh, you got a hi, Patty. I've been doing this for almost 18 months. I haven't had one shout out. I've avoided it. I have failed the producers, and I'm sorry.
No, we love him.
Anytime somebody says one more thing,
yeah.
he got zinged. All right.
But see, Steve, you are a pro. I'm just a rookie.
No, you're doing a great job. All right, Todd Pyro live in Q-Town.
Thanks, Todd. Tell them all we said hello. All right, we've shared this couple's amazing story with you. They put their faith in God's hands when doctors told them that their son had a terminal brain condition, but he was misdiagnosed. The prayers were answered. The couple is back, and an update on Miracle Matthew, thanks to you, the Fox and Friends viewer.
But first, stand aside. Sandra Smith has told me she has a great show planned. Prove it, Sandra. Tell me everything.
Bill and I have a great show in store for you. Good morning, Steve Ainsley and Brian. Good Tuesday morning to all of you. Live from America's Newsroom this morning, we're going to have the latest on a police officer and 2 hospital employees killed in that shootout at a Chicago hospital. What we are now learning. Meanwhile, a new Gallup poll shows the president's approval rating on the economy ticking up to a new high. Ronald Reagan's former economic advisor is here. Plus, the mayor of New York City wants more government control. How's Summer responding to that? Alan Dershowitz, Jonathan Turley, Art Laffer, and more coming up. Join Bill and me as we kick off 3 hours of news at the top of the hour.
Hi, Susan. Honey.
Yeah?
I respect that, but that cough looks pretty bad. Try this new Robitussin honey.
The real honey you love, plus the powerful cough relief you need.
Mind if I root through your trash?
New Robitussin honey, because it's never just a cough.
Billions of mouths, billions of problems. Morning breath, garlic breath, stinky breath? There's a TheraBreath for you. TheraBreath Fresh Breath Oral Rinse instantly fights all types of bad breath and works for 24 hours, so you can breathe easy. There's TheraBreath at Walmart.
All right, guys, we got a lot to cover. You fishing, you take camping, I'll take clothing. Anna, watch Dad. Break.
Save on great gifts from Bass Pro Shop.
And that's when we found out that he had a terminal condition.
We just trusted in God that everything would be okay. And 27 hours after he was born, the MRI comes back. Dr. Gacciani, his neurosurgeon, he explained that our baby, Matthew, could live a normal life.
He had been misdiagnosed. Well, this Thanksgiving week, we take a look back at the great causes Fox and Friends viewers have supported.
Back in August, we spoke with Drew and Adrian Korpstein, who chose to put their faith in God's hands after they were told that their unborn son had a terminal brain condition.
But their son, Miracle Matthew, misdiagnosed, and since their appearance on our show, viewers have helped raise
look at that picture.
$32,000 to help the family with their medical bills.
Drew and Ariane Korpstein and their baby, known as Miracle Matthew, join us right now with an update. Good morning to you, Mom and Dad.
Good morning.
Okay, so
thanks for having us back on.
It's great to have you. So when you were pregnant, you were told they looked at a scan and said your baby would not have a normal life if born, and the brain was not developed right. They gave you some choices, but why did you decide to go through with it? Because you did not know until he was born that he was going to be okay.
Yeah, you know, we just thought that that's not really our decision to make. You know, there's only one person, you know, one being that really knows that answer, and that's God. And, you know, we left it all up to him.
Mm-hmm. I think it's wonderful that y'all... Go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say, and Matthew, I will say, he just makes everything seem like it's so little to, like, any problem you ever have after having him. It's just the biggest blessing in the world for us.
Right. So Drew, how's Matthew doing now?
He's doing great. The last time we were here doing the interview, he was actually in the hospital with an infection. His shunt got infected, which is something that is a common thing for shunts. And that's one thing that the Pediatric Hydrocephalus Foundation is doing more research on. And he has now a programmable shunt. So it's a magnetic programmable shunt. It can actually turn down the amount of fluid or like the pressure in his brain. And so it's a little better than the first one he had.
Technology, the wonders of medicine. When you were on, we were talking about your GoFundMe page because you've got astronomical bills. I know the goal was $60,000. So far, you've raised $42,000. If people would like to go to foxandfriends.com. But tell us how you would like to thank the folks who are watching right now for helping your family.
Ariane?
It's just been amazing. You know, people commenting on our Facebook page, on the GoFundMe page, just saying they're praying for Matthew and our family. It's just amazing you know the kindness of people and reaching out, and you know we just feel so thankful and you know just so blessed to be able to have people reach out to us from all over, even the world. It's pretty crazy.
Drew, what's your message to people?
The messages we've received.
What's your message to people that are watching that might have gotten a diagnosis similar to this, where doctors think it's terminal? Thankfully, it's not in your case, but what's your message to them?
Yeah, well, obviously it's not always going to turn out the way that it did for us. We are so thankful it did, and we were